Sideways, she doesn't look like she's there.
They got big area. Oh, never mind.
Big area of effect.
Yeah. AOE.
Everyone's
AOE. They got a huge AOE.
There we go.
Love
Hi, everybody. We're back.
Amelia's.
Happy
I love
Halloween.
it.
Congratulations on getting
Oh
first.
my god.
Be playing some Pummel Party
You guys
tonight.
gotta wear words.
I got.
We got Tuna,
I need to start reading
Alice,
things in my head.
Cindy, that's me,
I'm sorry reading things in my head, bro.
Roxy, Asura,
No.
Okay,
and
I'm
Crane.
now.
No.
I think we're about to be ready to
If
start.
everyone in Azura's chat.
Oh.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. On screen.
Let me turn this down.
I'm eating
Man.
a Twix bar. If you hear crackling, I'm sorry.
You have more Twix bars. Could you share?
Yeah.
You got Snickers. I don't feel like myself.
What do you?
Yes. You got Snickers. I don't feel like myself.
Actually, I didn't get Snickers this year. I'm
Does
sorry.
no one remember those commercials?
I remember.
Hello, Nix.
I remember Betty White.
I
and
remember.
Snickers.
3 times.
Miss Betty White.
No, only 2 times. Well,
Oh,
technically, I could have just probably done one, but then it would have just been like
Sir,
an
what the
AFK
fuck is
screen.
happening?
Is it working? Ah, it's working now. Let's go.
Frame?
I took like a
Not so
15-minute nap.
And when I saw your character
Before I
in
started
the game,
this.
I'm not muted.
I didn't recognize that that's flames. I thought you farted red fart.
Oh wow, you fart red?
Yeah, it's from all the hot
But
sauce.
how you doing, Nix?
I thought it was the
Have
red
you had
40.
dinner yet?
I thought it was the blood.
Can I sniff it?
Any trick-or-treating
Where's the red
plans?
30?
If you want, red no, we do not live.
If I smell it,
Discount
will
red
like my nose be spicy? Does
Yes.
like
Our
that
friend
Red
spicy-
Atlas
party?
right now
You might
is
get pink eye.
in a mode outfit,
Oh.
apparently.
What?
My favorite.
Oh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? What did I come back to?
What?
Don't the party
worry
your
about
fucking
it.
face,
Hey,
Alice.
Alice, what's wrong? What's wrong, Alice?
Hello, Bosco. How you doing? Happy
Just
Halloween.
cloud cap say something, really? Like, come
Just
on.
because you're assless doesn't mean you gotta.
How are you? Do you do anything for
You
Halloween?
never had ass in the face, Atlas?
Or are you doing anything right now?
I'm not answering this question. I'm not answering this question. I'm not answering
It's been a
this.
The
while
answer
since
is
I
no.
played
It's
Pummel
okay,
Party.
Alex.
I
All right,
think
ladies.
it's been like,
Ladies, he's not an ass eater.
I think it was last year, February.
Nope, I'm not going to add on.
That
to
was
this.
very close. That was very
You
close.
been doing anything? Oh, nice. What were you
Let's
doing?
go with-
Ah.
Hey,
And how did it go?
This close. This close. This close to actually getting me. I might get pink eye apparently if I.
Digimon Time Traveler.
Yeah,
get farted in the
if-
I don't think
face.
then I've heard of that game
If
before.
you're
What's
eating
that
Yeah.
about?
and she farts, then
Yeah, I'm guessing it's about Digimon.
Yeah,
Well,
When having our freak,
I've
I'm
never
sorry to
heard
hear
of
that.
yeah.
I hope to.
I'm
though.
not volunteering.
I
I'm not
hope to.
volunteering.
I hope you can
My
get better.
It's like you're a
It's
fucking
crazy.
new sim
Oh
aspiration
my
just
God.
The
dropped.
new Digimon game that came
I-
out.
You
You know
emoji.
never
what's
mind.
with
I was
this
about
one?
to like declare that one day
What's
I
new
will
with this
fart
one?
in a man's face, but then I was like, you know what? That's so mean.
Oh my
Why do they
God.
want it, though?
Thank you for resetting.
Are you enjoying the game?
Someone out there is probably into that. Someone out there is probably into that. That's the problem.
Why?
Yeah, but like, see, the thing is that for that I need money. I need money. That's like,
Eating? Yeah, I ate some food.
He's on the
Shit.
fucking commission.
I ate some
Oh,
food.
yeah.
I took a
Like
nap.
a fucking
Just had some
commission.
rice and
Oh my
chicken.
God.
if you pay me enough, I'll
He's
let
trying
you
to
choose what
start
I
extending.
think
He's
the
trying to
night
snap a word between me and Digimon and try to teach you. Oh wow, that is very interesting.
Chat.
Yo, what package you want?
Is your
one
mission
or two?
collect every? So how do you like beat the game?
You know?
Is it
Like,
just
you
by
don't know
like
what you're gonna get.
collecting
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single Digimon there is?
Spot OnlyFans dropping soon.
Or is there like multiple endings?
You
Oh
said
my
he.
God.
You said he
It's on
wishes
Steam.
about like farting in the face. I like. I don't want it.
Let me search it up.
Go.
Holy fuck.
I'm not gonna dig my grave.
You guys
I
ready?
couldn't.
I am,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I can make a team out of every
Oxy, ready
Digimon.
up.
Wait, what? Oh, I have to ready.
Ooh, I see it. Oh wow, a bunch of my friends already have it. Yeah, I want the
Hi
game.
Zoro, welcome in. Oh, what?
I'll be sure to check it out.
what
It
a
looks
time to
pretty
come back.
interesting.
Hi.
Oh,
I just can't drop another
Oh, she
70
naked.
right now on another game after I just.
I
I
know.
Like when you move,
I
it's like my
You,
lips are
you
moving.
went naked. Oh my god, this feels so weird.
And Silent Hill
glasses.
F also just came out. I
Oh,
haven't
look
even
at
gotten
it.
to
I
start
mean,
on any
out
Silent Hill
here.
games.
I'm out here representing my culture.
And Dying
Y'all
Light
know.
came out.
Your
The
culture?
Beast.
I kind of see
Zoro.
that.
NATO,
Our culture.
welcome
Oh
in.
my god. Zoro, they funded
It's only
this.
like 2 a.m. Why are you awake?
What they get.
Come for your pickle.
Thank you for trying to get my pickle.
Mm. Ah!
Maybe better. Got betrayed by some fiance. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Bosco.
I hate that.
I'll change it.
That sucks.
Yeah, nah.
I'm sorry.
Where's my skin?
Even someone who donate.
Google
Yeah,
it.
No.
Zoro, I had a goal, and everyone
I'm sorry.
funded the maid outfit. So
Ready.
here we are.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
I'm ready.
Queen!
Starting up.
Let's go. We're
Oh,
starting.
We're starting.
Let's go.
I've been unmuted.
I don't know the controls.
You need
I
my
didn't
pickle?
learn- take
Well,
time to
thank you
learn
for
this.
getting my pickle.
Yeah,
I
plays
didn't either.
We're gonna get a
I
lot
saw
of
it before we
pickles
started
in
playing.
Elden Ring.
Right too.
In
Let's
Sunday.
go.
Imagine Mario Party, where you just go in.
Or you get
Fucking hate Mario
pummeled.
Party is great.
Yeah. All right, who's going first?
I can't wait to get one.
So A is up.
8, 7, 8,
Oh, how
2,
do I-
3.
How do I?
I don't know what I got.
Space
A
bar.
if you're doing controller.
Alti, welcome
Hey,
in.
what the
4 times, yes.
Yes.
computer?
And then we're
Space
doing
bar?
another one
Space bar?
tomorrow.
Space bar. Space bar.
Yeah,
you
Bosco,
doing
if you
controller
if you
or
want to
mouse
talk
and
about it
keyboard?
and
Oh wait, hold on,
offline
wait, is my controller connected?
on Discord, I'll be.
Oh, maybe that's
I'll
why.
listen.
Oh.
That's
Oh,
what
rocks.
By the way, I'm the Pandler.
Hold on.
This is me, the white
What's
panda.
the button at the bottom left?
Just my sister couldn't make it, Pendle. She's unavailable, so I'll be here in
Good
spirit for her.
morning. Good morning.
Oh shit.
The
Oh,
player
look,
who
it's my
frees the
soul.
most.
I kind of completely missed
Uh,
what happened on screen.
She.
Weapons cache.
Hey, Basco, if you didn't hear me, I said if you want to talk
Don't
Hear me
later
out.
offline.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
No.
My DMs are always open on Discord.
Already?
If you want to touch the killer and die,
Bam.
like that's on you.
To be fair, I said hear me out to the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I should not
Oh.
do.
That's
Oh.
too many teeth, man. What are you
Oh,
doing?
shit.
Okay.
Or the Mind Flayer.
I go
Or
this
the
way.
Mind Flayer. Or Vecna. I mean,
Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Have you
Dude,
had any
stop
food?
talking.
Guys,
I got
guys,
an
my
eggplant.
chat just asked me, who do you think is the
Did you hear this?
stinkiest
We're going
person
kind of
in
fun.
this
Yeah,
game?
it's no
And I
worries.
wanna know if you guys
I'm sorry if my
Same
Discord's kind of
game
just like
answer. Like,
dead.
here,
I
out
don't
of all
usually
of
like
us.
talking
Sorry, out of all of us,
in like general and stuff.
who is the stinkiest?
But I'm always down to
I
like
wanna know if
VC
your answer is
or
the
just
same
talking
as mine.
DMs.
I mean, my nickname is Stinky. So
It's
my-
dead
my-
text wise, but
I mean,
VC
he's
wise, we
self-proclaimed,
chill
so
there
I
all the
can't
time.
say no
Oh my
to
god, I
that.
got a shotty.
So it's you, Atlas? You think you're the stinkiest?
You a good person? Thank you.
Maybe. Maybe.
My chat
Oh, yeah,
said
I've
me,
been-
but that's
I'm muted. I
biased of them.
didn't realize I haven't been talking all.
He's biased.
Yeah, chat says you're the stinkiest, Atlas.
What was
Jesus
that?
fuck, dude.
Okay.
You're too happy about that.
That was.
You're wearing a maid outfit.
Tuna smells
I think I might have missed something that happened.
No, it's
Hello.
matcha.
Oh my gosh, tuna
Okay,
smells
thank you.
family was in the
Let's
3.1
attend. How you doing?
Animal Crossing.
Do you have any Halloween
God,
plans, Mochi?
yes.
Oh.
I'm so excited for that
Alright.
update. Rip Crane.
Oh yeah, Bosco, what kind of pizza you had? Cause I
Okay. I smelled
also had
food.
pizza earlier.
They had to take a bite. I understand.
You're still at work. Oh yeah, the time
You
zone.
do
That's
smell
okay.
good though. You literally smell so sweet. I thought
I
you were
hope you
ice
have a good
cream
time
in
at
my
work.
car.
You got a slice of
See, I think
pepperoni
it's
and
your
some
turn.
chips for this. Ooh,
Oh,
what kind of
it's
chips?
Oh, shit, you're right. Never mind.
I'm not usually a chip guy, but
Let it out, girl.
Don't go right.
I would probably
I'll
go
go
for
right,
just like
alright.
a,
I'll go down.
Or come
a
right.
blue or a red
I'll
Dorito,
go
Want
down.
to.
the small bag ones. Or actually, the baked lays are good.
That home?
I like the baked chips.
Oh my god, Cat, you're pulling cards.
Tempura seaweed.
Alright.
Wait, I would
Do you have any picks, or did you already eat it?
I'll give you-
Nay!
It's Pizza Friday, because I think Nito also got pizza earlier.
Alright.
Yeah, Cool Ranch Dorito.
The hell? Too many
I remember I
people
tried
followers
the
now. God damn
Subway
it.
one.
I need like a favorite
had
for
like
followers. You know what I mean? They need to put
a foot long Dorito,
You follow.
and you had
I
the
am not.
What I
I'm
do-
not doing the
Oh my
avocado.
gosh!
and, like,
oh my
stuff in
god!
it.
I
It was
love
pretty
your
good.
mouth. Tuna. Oh shit, Tuna! Did they rip out your arm? Tuna.
Did you get to try it?
Yeah.
Just baked pizza. Look at that, everybody! It's a Pizza Friday.
I
It's
have
now
to do an
Wolf Farm.
Oh
auto.
lord, he's coming.
What toppings do you have on your pizza?
Shit.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
Oh shit.
Proxy.
Wait, look at me, senpai.
Oh.
Okay, yes.
Minigame.
What I do is
I'll do it
is
after
You
I
missed
go
it.
to my-
It's
my
okay. I'm sure it'll be
suggested
back. I mean, you
channels
just
and
need
use
like
that as my favorites.
what's it? You just
Oh,
need the Dorito bag, some
Really?
meat. You had steak or chicken,
I
Hey,
like that.
yeah, you
and then it was
it's in
jalapenos.
your-
Oh, except the
your
sauce. I
dashboard,
don't
you
remember
change
what the
it to
sauce
different
was.
channels and you can put whoever
I
you
just
want.
had plain cheese. Hey, plain cheese is still pretty good.
I just have all the
You got
cheese there.
supreme?
Precise
Nice.
timing to stack your boxes to the ceiling.
I think I had something with
thought-
like pesto in it.
Before other
I'm
players.
sorry, give me a second.
Hey, Proxy,
Is
This
there
one,
gravity?
there's just no one
I got it.
shared chat this time. Yes, no worries, Mochi.
See you guys.
I didn't really get to ask because I
Alright,
kind
I
of joined
know
late.
how to
I was still laying in bed.
Yeah. Stack donuts.
If they wanted to do share
What?
chat or not.
Hell yeah.
What?
But yeah, also check out Alice. He's in the maid outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Never, you guys never stacked? On it?
I have.
Mixed cheese on pizza is very tasty. Exactly. You can have like the 3 cheese blend.
Just kidding.
If y'all ever had the 3 cheese blend pizza.
That was so
You're
quick.
not lying.
That was the quickest.
Because
You won't be able to look my future husband in the face.
I can feel average from here. I can feel his like
You had to help him figure out his
annoyance and
apron.
rage from here.
He's like, please.
Well, I mean,
His fucking,
he looks like he's chilling right now in
his
the maid outfit.
talking senses have fucking tingled. He's like, this
Exactly.
bitch being bodied.
He hasn't upgraded in chat yet.
I was like, this is a good.
Oh fuck.
I gotta hear him say, "Get the fuck away
I
from
feel
me."
like I can barely hear them. Let me turn them up. We'll turn this down.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, I have to ready up.
Ready? Ready.
We were just waiting for proxy.
Where am I?
Ready.
Where am I? Okay.
Let's see myself.
I thought I was a sir. I was looking at the wrong one.
So what's the objective here?
Stacking.
You just have to stack it to the top.
Oh.
Damn it. I don't know why
My-
Jinspooky's rolled.
Okay,
Oh,
I
shit.
can't stack anymore. I'm sorry. It's perfect.
Wait, proxy's
You
cheating.
keep making it longer.
Hang on. No, I missed it. Damn it.
Oh god.
Fine.
Oh my god, dude. Huh.
Damn it.
Proxy
Proxy, I
cheated.
finished like a millisecond before you.
I just, I know how to stack on it.
I'm not stacking very
Damn.
well.
And she stacked it in the middle
Sorry,
too.
oh my god.
I'm
Damn it.
very poor at this timing.
Mr. Roommates and roommates are out.
Ah.
And now I must
Timing
go
is
away.
not
That's
my
no problem.
friend.
Thank you for stopping by, Mochi. We'll
Oh,
see
so
you
close.
in and out maybe in the other chat.
I'm laughing too hard. I can't.
Cray, please. Cray,
I
please.
think there's a good
Alright,
spot for
please.
everybody.
Someone.
It's fine. I'll make it up eventually.
Are you making a middle finger?
I was.
Oh my god.
There we go.
If you go fast enough.
It's fine. I was trying so
Yes,
hard to
Ghost.
make a little
The
fake.
top stackers. Oh yeah, we know who stacks on it.
Oh my god.
Foxy.
Oh my gosh.
How do I view map here to Y? Alright.
Why? Why controller or why keyboard?
Oh, Y controller.
If you see the arrows on the floor too. The
Mochi, I'm gonna
bloody
fight
arrows.
Oh, the master.
you. Mochi, I'm gonna fight
Turn
you.
proxy up.
Get saved.
Alright, push-ups begin.
Oh, all their volumes got reset
Oh,
to
it's my
100
turn?
for some reason.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
you
turn
were
order,
second.
yeah, turn order changes based on who wins the mini games.
One.
Oh.
Oh.
That's why Atlas is
You can
last.
see the turn order at the top right.
And
Are we like trying to
Bottom
get
like I
somewhere?
am.
Like what are we doing?
We
Are
have
we
to
going
get
to where
to
this
the
control thing is?
We
that
have to
thingy
free.
that's glowing.
Yeah, we had to
The
free
glowing trail.
Oh.
The ghost?
Free the ghosts. Yeah, the souls.
And I think you need 40 to free them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have
Okay.
40 keys.
40. Okay, 40s.
Oh.
and you have to avoid the killer that's going
Ooh.
around the map.
There's a killer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jenny, welcome in. Happy Halloween. How you doing? Do anything interesting today? Or this weekend? You have anything planned? Oh, it's my turn.
Oh.
Oh.
Pendle's a silent killer.
That's Jan.
That's
Oh,
Pendle.
what?
Yep, that's Pendle.
Why are you doing this, Dan? What is this?
I'm here in spirit for her.
Oh, it's Halloween, duh. So you're
Exactly.
Halloween. Aw, I'm so silly.
No.
And happy. Oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I got. But
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want, but I hope it gets better for you, Jenny.
Oh, if I go this
Okay,
way,
okay,
Proxy's
I'm doing
gonna
all right.
mug
I have like
me.
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
But if
don't
you
let
go-
me mug you. I
If
don't
you
want to
go
mug
my
you.
way, you get
Not unless it's a
your own.
surprise.
My
I always
my
want
coworkers
surprise.
asked if I wanted to go join them at their Halloween party, but I already got asked for this Halloween party like a month ago.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at all yesterday,
Oh, man,
and then I
we
tried to
just
stay
got
up till
it.
like 1. Oh no, I didn't try to stay up. I slept. I don't remember anything what happened yesterday, to be honest.
oh, where am I?
But I took a nap, and then I
Would
woke
I
up
be
at like
isekai
11, I think.
into a Yuri
And then I just stayed up the whole
romance
night.
novel, or should I be isekai into
And then I had a stream this morning.
a fantasy?
I streamed last night and this morning
Zero situation.
I think
And this
it
afternoon.
depends on with you or not.
and now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're
I
already
never-
in the Yuri novel.
Yeah, I didn't sleep.
Oh
Yeah.
Then I took like a 2-hour
What's
nap.
the,
in the
what's the
afternoon.
title? Wouldn't it be like my
I have a wheel right now that's gonna spin onto an anime.
But I'm trying to get my sleep schedule fixed, so probably after this, I will take
Yeah.
my medicine to help me sleep better.
Tuna.
Even though it didn't help me last time, but
Tuna.
hopefully it
Oh,
helps this
it's
time.
What?
shit.
Isekai
What?
to Attack
My
on
friend
Titan.
want to go out to a Halloween party, and I kind of feel left out.
She's dead.
Wait, did they? Are you saying that like they
Titan?
invited you, or
Yeah.
they went out
Wait,
and they
Titan.
know?
I don't get out of the fucking map. Oh.
Oh no.
Am I a Titan though? This
Like-
is a real question.
Motherfucker, I
Titan,
would
what's happening?
back
What did I miss?
Please.
Oh Lord, he's coming.
Oh shit.
Oh
Hey,
damn.
God damn. Dick.
Oh.
Meat.
Proxy.
Take it.
Oh, he's right
Oh.
there.
He coming.
Take me there.
Oh,
I'm
this
trying to
one
fight
with
him.
this many people.
Oh, with love.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
going
this is
crazy.
gonna be
This is-
this is
With
gonna
4, it
be-
already looks so much.
Oh, what's this? This is a game?
You just run around and
Yeah.
you run around and
I
follow
never-
Tuna.
Splatoon.
Will
Imagine
this be-
We're gonna
Splatoon.
run and follow
Yeah.
Tuna.
Yeah, Proxy, if you see Tuna, just run towards her.
Wait.
Oh,
We also
ASD.
That's the strat for this game.
Are we on a team?
Yeah, you're in the
No.
team. You have to help Tuna. You just have to keep following her. Where am I? Oh, there she is. Look, I'm gonna follow her. Come on, Tuna, let's go.
Stop.
Hi, Tuna.
I swear to God. Y'all.
Tuna, where are we going?
Hi, Tuna.
Jesus.
Tuna.
Dude.
Oh, okay. That was fast.
Yeah, there's sometimes random things on the ground that'll help you get more of your stuff.
Just be in this corner.
No,
Damn, who's orange? That was huge.
I lost track of myself.
Okay, let me just follow Tuna.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Yeah, I got second. Let's go see if that was the strat.
Oh my god, I got fifth. Let's go.
I told you guys.
How did I win that? What? Hello?
How did you win that?
You were too good.
Never.
It didn't bite me, and they said not to go, so I did not go.
We got some.
I saw it saying that that they mad me left me out. Yeah, it's okay if they don't want you.
Thought I can also sing.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, and they're missing out because you're not there. Let me grab a. Oh, I'm
Peace.
close.
Tip the fuck.
Thought you would be happy, yeah.
Bees?
And thank you for being here. I mean, I know that sucks, but
Oh, hi, Salix.
I think it's okay. Wait, I'm getting teleported.
Oh.
Oh my. Oh.
Jacob, please.
I can't believe you did that to Pindle.
It's
could
like I
you?
would do it to Bindle.
Tuna would be a Smexy colossal type.
Yeah, I mean, you're cool
tall as
too,
fuck
because you're
himself.
healers.
That is an insane
Did
statement.
Alti tell us? I don't know.
Interesting.
I kind of missed a lot of messages today.
What would be the title of Tuna and Cat's
Oh, gee.
Yuri?
Ah.
My
Hey.
useless lesbian life. Thank you, Crane.
I swear.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
My alerts were off this
nice.
entire time because I was messing with stuff.
Well, I hope your
So
streaming
the-
journey
Got
goes
a
well.
Cactus.
No need to
The
be scared.
turns are
I
based
think
off the
you
keys.
should just do it.
Your cactus is.
I mean, that's what I did.
They are.
Yeah, because my
Yeah, they
Like,
were
I
off.
simply
the
was
turns are based
running
off of
out
the
of
minigames.
storage for my
I forced cats
Oh,
to
my
eat a
games,
cactus.
so I just kind of just started streaming, so I have the VODs for it.
When I was
I
in
accidentally turned off
Minnesota- Oh, sorry.
do it myself.
Yeah, but also it's okay
I was messing
to
with
be
stuff
scared.
earlier, so I had to turn them off.
About.
I forgot to turn
when I was in
my alerts
Arizona, I
back.
had a bunch of like cactus blossom candies and stuff. Oh, Tuna, no! Damn, first a bust, now that. Someone...
Oh no! Bust out Tatiana! Oh shit! Oh
Yeah,
no!
no, it's okay. It's
Oh.
okay.
Oh shit!
I'm shy. I mean, yeah, I'm also shy,
no,
so
I
it's okay.
Can't,
Oh, I don't like
I can't
that.
Bingus, I can't.
I
What
don't
is it?
like that.
Oh.
I know what it feels like to be shy.
I've played this in other games, and I
I mean,
suck
simply
at it
if you just
there.
want to
Crab
play
game.
games,
Crab.
I think you should just play.
Crab game.
I like
crab
crabbing.
game.
I like streaming because I'll get to look at the things that I used to play back then. Wait,
Oh.
where am I? I thought I was a Sura again. I looked at the wrong person.
The Pandler.
We have similar
Why is there
name
Janet on the wall?
colors.
Cheating.
Well, I'm dead.
Snarl would
I'm
be scared,
clenched.
but once you start, yeah.
Oh,
That's me! I fucking lagged!
Like if I didn't start 2 years ago, I wouldn't have met all the wonderful people here.
I love the music
Like
that's
Alti,
playing.
Nix,
Yeah, the music's
Tuna
so
right
good.
there, my
Oh,
B
I don't have the
sibling,
music on right now.
and my
I'm
other
playing
sibling.
Spotify.
It's very
Who's
intense.
in a trash can right now, I think. Proxy, to my right.
Okay.
Oh, it's getting faster.
Yeah, and people come and go, so it's
Oh.
okay. There's
Oh, it's
still a
getting
lot of people you can
faster.
meet.
Oh,
I
it's
almost
getting
ran off.
faster. Oh,
No.
oh.
It's just me and you, Cindy.
Oh
Yeah,
my
from like
gosh.
2 years ago, I had like nobody. Like
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
know a lot of people. I just started
1v1.
chatting, and my
It's a
friend.
1v1,
Well,
lady.
he wasn't my friend before, but in like a streamer chat.
Oh shit!
And then we became friends, and then now we're here.
Oh,
It processed too slow.
I somehow
the
got
king.
fifth place, even though I fell in the first one. Yeah, people come and go, but there'll be people who will stick around with you.
yep. Hi,
Send you
Tanner.
That's
messages at
cucumber?
4 a.m. and wonder why you're up at 1 a.m.
Is
and
that a
streaming at
cucumber?
7
What is
a.m.
that?
Eggplant.
and not sleeping.
Eggplant.
Okay. That was an is eggplant. Oh my god, I was saying cucumber, I meant eggplant. That's so embarrassing.
Cucumba.
Yeah, it was what's Irie was here earlier. I was messaging her all throughout the night
Damn
because
it.
we're in a different time zone.
Damn it.
She's like, "Why are you awake?" I'm like, "I can't sleep." So, and then I was supposed to go to the gym
paid
earlier this
off.
morning too because I couldn't sleep, so I was just gonna go to the
Bastards.
gym.
Yeah, Roxy.
And then I drank coffee.
Stranger.
I tried to drink coffee, and I still
Holy
took a
shit,
nap,
Ezra,
so
how
I
much
passed
fucking
out.
shit do you have?
Yes.
Oh my
And then I
God.
woke up like 1 minute late to my
Oh
collab,
shit!
but that's okay.
These guys got two
Yeah, I'll
guns,
see
a
you
cactus, and a bomb.
What's a cactus?
What do you
for?
Because me and Alti
cactus?
were playing last night,
How the
To protect you.
Hey,
and we were too busy
Oh.
winning.
when you walk past
I had
people,
so many
think you heard
clips
them.
from the Overwatch.
Oh,
About the
I'm not gonna lie, I also missed
I
Overwatch, so
listened.
that was pretty fun. I'm trying to see if I can make that into a video, Alti,
I don't
of
know.
the stream last night.
Can those zombies eat us?
Yes, if you land on the
Yes.
wrong space.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why
it's
Crane
me.
took damage.
What is the H space?
Yeah, no worries. I know what it's like to have a
Oh.
headache.
Oh.
I'm
Oh.
currently going through a headache and migraine session for the last few months. Which is why my sleep schedule's messed up, because whenever I get a migraine and I just can't
Yes,
sleep,
Mochi.
I just stay up. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Whoa.
Next, this has been going on for like over 2 years. I've already went like to a neurologist for it, and they gave me meds that made
Yeah,
my
fuck,
memory
there's
go
one
bad.
over there. 2 years left.
Why is there
And then they
40?
gave me like migraine meds that are
Oh,
good,
I'm not gonna get hurt.
but I haven't tried it because there's only 2 pill in the boxes. They ran out.
No, you're not.
Oh really?
It did get better last year,
What's
Face look
secret?
bad.
but then I stopped taking the meds, so then it
Get away
just
from
like
me,
came back.
Zombo. Oh.
I'm gonna do the first.
And I'm usually used to like regular migraines, so I don't need to go to the doctor for it. But in the last 2 months, it's gotten
The Pandler.
really
No,
bad
not the Pandler.
to the point where I had to go to the hospital to get like meds. I got cacti.
Ugh,
cactus.
20 squats in a maid outfit don't feel right.
Cactus gang.
What?
I had to do 20. I had to do squats.
Oh.
Did you check for cameras?
You didn't tell us.
I also stepped out of camera view so I could drink water.
Oh my
Oh.
god, dude.
Tuna, you might want to use that health.
Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a gamer.
but it's okay because everything for me is free.
Dude, don't touch me.
First to
I
4
touched
goblets
Oh,
or
is that an
trophies.
eggplant?
Hell yeah.
Fuck off,
This guy's has been
bro.
walking back.
He really wants Cindy's booty.
I mean, this guy's been walking back and forth in this area. Oh,
Oh shit, yeah, that's
don't get
it.
a
Oh,
don't
no.
get a 3. You're gonna be in
no.
front
Oh
of him.
no, it's over.
Oh, we're playing Guitar Hero.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
shit, it's weird WASD.
Alright.
Oh god, I don't know if my controls will work.
WASD and
Um,
Big
Arrows.
fan of the WASD.
Oh, yay.
Are you migraines on though? This might be TMI.
I'm gonna do
whispers.
so
Okay.
shit
No,
on
that's-
this.
I
I
don't
hope
think
we're
it is.
ready.
Wait,
I'm
I'm
pulling.
gonna do so
I gotta
bad.
get into,
I'm
I gotta get
ready.
into gamer pose.
But yeah,
The
hold on.
game.
Cindy
I'll
said I'm
be
locked
back.
in.
I'm gonna
I did. My fucking poor chair.
Focus
I'm
on this
Gary,
real
I
quick.
can't sit right, so.
same.
That's what. Okay, locked in.
Alright, time to miss of you know. Wait, which one am I?
Oh,
I don't know which
On the
color I am.
top.
Whatever color you want.
Color.
You were white. You were white.
I'm white.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Damn it.
Yeah.
I just keep replying with one word.
Eh.
Oh god, I'm scuffed.
I am terrible at this.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know my controls well enough for this.
Wait, you guys are all on keyboard.
I'm on controller.
Oh, and my
I
screen,
just suck at
everybody's like
timing stuff.
Huh.
It's only 1 more minute.
What the fuck?
What? It's because my keyboard's broken! No! You bitch!
Shit.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck!
No, you were so
I did such
close.
shit.
Oh god.
I
You
missed
missed
one
the
at the very
last
end.
note.
I missed the one at the
Oh
very
my
end.
God.
I pressed up. I pressed Y one less time than I should have.
Dude.
You know what?
No.
I got a
Dude,
plus 690
no.
for my combo. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's still
Nice.
pretty good.
Got a what?
You got a 69 for your
690.
combo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
9.
Check the guy.
I'm a screenshot.
Practice
Why
big,
take a
let's go.
screenshot?
Let's go. High five.
Why? Why are you near me? Why?
The cacti just
Thank
popped
you.
you.
The
Your views are so
cactus
cute. I'll go,
follows me.
thank you. It's my Halloween one.
As long as she can just get the fuck out of there, I think she's.
I only use it like once every this month or whenever I'm playing like a horror game. Because I think it,
Yeah, beat his ass.
it suits for horror
With an
games.
excellent?
Bitch.
Oh shit.
Oh hell yeah.
Big dick damage.
Oh,
Right now, kick his ass.
I think they
Fuck
should
you,
be
Oh,
fine.
oh, get juked! Get juked!
Yeah, they went
After
pretty
watching
far.
Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
Oh.
zombie.
Oh, so he's about to
No.
get bit.
Oh,
Kiss the
drive
flag.
home safe, LT.
Oh shit.
It's childish
Damn, that was hard to
Zambino.
watch, Cindy.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Eggplant can do
I'm
like
saving up.
huge damage.
Whee! Hello.
Might just
Oh
be
wait,
armor,
there's
actually,
two.
I think it is just
There's 2 cages. I thought there was only 1.
Mm. Hoorah!
Damn.
Hello, sir. Let me get there.
Can you be
Look
too
at
more
that.
so cute? Yes, thank you, Jenny.
Right behind Cindy.
When you start streaming, you think you're gonna be doing a
Oh
model?
no, no! What?
There's some really good
on the
free
Oh no!
models out there.
Hey, wait, hold
They're
on. let me get some of
customizable.
that.
Up.
Oh my god, how many guns do I have? Hold
Why do
on.
you have a laser cannon?
Wait. Why do you have a laser cannon?
I don't know what to use. We're just gonna close it for now.
Yeah, you want to be tuber? Yeah.
Oh no!
I
give
was
somebody
a-
my blood. Hey!
I
But
was
for
a
the
mouse
god.
when I started because it was the free one,
Oh.
and I do be a
Never
ghost.
one shit.
It's a Mochi model from Mochi Studio. It's like a YCH, and I'm getting another model from them. It's the Gremlin one.
Hello?
Welcome back. Hello.
Yeah, I just typed in like free V2
Left
models.
and
There's a
escape.
lot of like
Yeah,
pre-made
there is.
ones
Because
that you
it's
can
there.
customize for free.
Yeah.
You can also make your own, but that takes a lot of rigging and stuff that is pretty complicated. Yeah, you can do like basically everything. It's just
How?
At
It'll
least they
take a
put him
while.
kind of far away from us.
Yeah.
like my original model only cost like
Oh my god, there's
500
a whole map
bucks
just for viewing
1,
tuna.
2, 3, 4.
for the art and the rigging with my original one.
Thank you.
Dude, a viewing map.
I want a tuna viewing map.
Yeah, you can have a 3D model too.
Oh
Both of the cages are over there.
Oh, Lord, he's coming.
Oh, Cindy, he fucking hates you.
Yeah, so does most of the world.
What is this?
Oh.
One over the
This shit. Okay.
The mystery
Oh,
maze.
this is so bad.
Oh, that's
This is gonna be
that's
so
awful.
bad.
Yeah, this is gonna suck. Okay.
Look, it's already lit up. Just follow the path.
Jen, both of you two assume I have a good memory of this shit. I forgot where I'm going.
Oh shit.
Oh!
Nope.
Damn!
No! Idris.
We did it. Time to go back.
Fuck, God damn it.
Go back the
Alright.
other way. Goodbye.
We have to go back the other way? No, you don't.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you already won, so
I
there's
was
no.
like,
You
I
can
saw
go
by my
back.
name. Tuna, I think
Oh
it's
my
up in the
God.
Don't
middle.
worry, I'll help you guys out.
I'm a what?
It's
Up in
this
the middle,
way.
okay. It's not showing you complete on my screen, so I was confused.
Come on, Atlas, up here.
I'm scared.
I got
Come this way. Just get up. Oh!
Motherfucker!
And then I think you go down here.
Oh,
No!
fuck me.
I'll just
Fuck.
stand here now.
Atlas,
About to rip off the
doomed.
gloves. Wait,
I wish we could
Yeah,
see
what should you
everybody.
do
I
for your
hate
first
that we
game?
can't see them.
Well, that depends. You
God
can.
damn.
I'm here.
I usually played a game that I was already familiar with,
I'm
so
dead.
I wish we could break it
if
down.
I could talk to people, I
I'm
could
gonna go
not have to be
last.
focused completely in the game. Like I played DVD and Overwatch
Yeah, these
since
gloves
I
are
already
about
had
to rip
knowledge
them
of
off.
it. I
I believe.
played
Please
that.
don't take clothes off.
I said the glove.
Yeah, and you can wait till you're
There's a
closer.
glove
You can
down
also
here.
try
Nope.
it.
Listen here.
Rip.
No.
Listen here, motherfucker.
No.
I couldn't control my character with these
Anything
fuck
is-
ass
yeah.
gloves.
Oh, he's wearing gloves.
Yay!
It's like wearing an
I'm
actual
gonna be right
condom
back.
on my hand. I want to eat a
I'm just gonna
bowl of shredded
hit the
cheese.
dice.
Oh,
What?
1, 2, 3.
What?
What?
Wait, what kind of cheese?
What?
Hang on.
Melt it and make it into soup. Soup cheese.
Whatever,
this way.
whatever we have here, I normally just do like American cheese because that's what my parents have.
Attack Crane? I'm not gonna attack Crane.
Why are we clipping
bought-
it, Mochi?
I
Bro,
bought
Oh,
spreadable
shit.
cheese the other day. That's really good.
What, Bert? Why are you inciting violence against me?
Damn, we're already halfway
When I
through the
didn't
turns.
deserve this.
Don't ask that. He'll list you many.
Yeah, after
Assassinate
this,
Proxy.
after like Pummel Party, I'm gonna be playing like Dark Souls 3 again
Get down, Mr.
with
President.
my friend. I don't know if I'll stream that. I was
Holy
kind of
shit.
speed running it and
Just
seeing
stab me
this.
You
on
want to
my
go
good
get my
side.
snack out of?
Fuck. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, after this one, I'll be playing at like 10
Oh
to
my
11
God.
AST.
Sydney.
Oh, I'm gonna meet God, guys.
I've been enjoying
What do you
Dark
mean,
Souls 3 a lot.
I'm gonna meet God.
No!
Wait, Tuna, please save me. Tuna, save me. Tuna, kill him.
Bro, yeah.
Save me, Tuna. Save me.
Hello, I returned.
Where is he?
What's happening?
Oh,
Save me.
okay.
He's too far.
He's
He's too
going
far.
there.
Terrible
Some
bomb.
game that you played on Steam.
The bomb can only
That could
go
be a
up
lot.
to here and it explodes.
What do you mean?
It has a timer.
Yeah, it's fine. They'll make it.
Yeah, just blow up Cindy.
Save me, Tuna.
Oh
You're
my
my only hope.
Do it.
Oh no!
Save me.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Please.
I don't even think that's gonna make it halfway.
Oh,
I know. Wait.
What if
Would-
you can't?
would it be- No. Like, what happens if I? Oh my god.
What?
Keyboard broken.
They're
Keyboard
peanut butter
broken.
crackers.
What happened if I go this way?
That is so far. You're still not gonna
Is
make
that farther than this way? Oh my god.
it. No, the bottom right is closer, but the,
I
got
the
another
fence
pack
is in
for
the
you.
way. Just jump the
Yeah.
eggplant through the fence.
I don't think
I don't-
it's possible.
You can
if
do
you
it.
hit
It's
the rock
Halloween.
at the right angle.
Holy shit.
Shut the
Yeah,
fuck
there's a
up.
jump
We're not
button.
gonna. What is the skate?
Yeah, just skate
Tuna,
through the
just-
fence.
Tuna,
Yeah,
honestly,
speedrunning pick.
honestly, leave me for dead.
Oh my god!
I don't say that. I don't say that out of spite. I say legitimately. I don't think it's gonna work. Hey, you want the funny option?
You have 10
Do
seconds
it.
to
You-
know.
Yeah, 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Then here, he'll go after you and not me. If he
Yeah,
hates us,
perfect.
maybe he's homophobic.
Oh,
Yeah, go down there and take the hit, Tuna. Oh, you can't even go in there.
Let's
I got too much. I have another pack in the
I'm
pantry.
ready to fight him.
Oh no.
It's the only time I've ever hoped for someone to be homophobic.
Yeah, my dress is getting stuck.
Take it off.
Oh, hi proxy, by proxy.
What's happening over there?
No, I'm not taking off my dress. It defeats the whole maid outfit.
My name is Roxy.
Actually, I could play
Whoa.
Nightmare. It's been a
No,
while since I've
Crane,
played
you
it.
got it
Bye,
for me.
Crane, you'll
Slowly
No.
coming at
It's a
you.
fun boss
That's
rush
fine.
mode.
Yeah,
so
that bitch
long.
ate.
This
Oh,
is
dude.
And Elden Ring are starting it again
Why
on
would
Sunday.
you eat Hatsune Miku like that?
Wait, Azura. What haven't
Yeah.
you got?
I've got a laser.
What is
A
the-
beehive.
Okay, what do those do? Hold on, I'm gonna.
Nothing from that range.
Nothing from that range.
Yeah, it's.
Just
Oh my
shotgun.
Wait! Wait!
Wait. Okay,
Wait,
look. Chat demands blood
Oh,
for the
yeah.
blood god.
Blood for
Oh,
the blood.
They have selected you as my sacrifice.
blood for the blood god.
Did I choose the fucking twink?
What if that misses?
I have
Choose
no
the
idea,
twink.
but they chose you.
Twink.
Oh,
I
Damn!
do that out of love.
Damn.
Shit.
Can't believe you're. Hi, Salix. My femboy.
didn't-
I'm not a femboy!
gives me
Oh my
some
God.
should've made
Thank
him
you for
yawn
stopping in,
first.
Jenny.
Oh yeah, you're right. You should
I hope
have.
your weekend gets better.
Like dance, twink boy, dance for me.
We'll be showing
Damn.
up more on the
My
weekend again.
keys!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Salix, to be fair. it
Oh yeah,
costs us
soon
to
Alti's
back
streaming
out
Little
and wear
Nightmares
this,
3
So it's like
with Nemcrom.
I want certain. Eh.
He looks beautiful.
I will be
I feel
lurking since
bonita.
I haven't played the game yet.
You are very bonita.
As you
I am
should.
very bonita.
Health or keys, Atlas.
Oh,
Health or
yeah.
keys. Though, if you
Yeah,
if
I've
you go
just
to
been
the-
lurking
to
whenever my
the
friends
right,
are
there's,
playing
there's
it.
a there's a thing down there.
I'm still waiting to play that too.
Eh.
Oh, nice health.
No, I.
Cindy!
No,
Oh,
she saw me struggling.
Oh
She
my
saw me
God.
struggling.
Oh!
Damn.
Oh god.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Hazard.
Hazard.
Do I?
Oh, you spawn all the way over there.
I live.
I was struggling.
I'm actually kind of fine with that.
Welcome back, City.
Thank you.
I've never played it or watched it. Have you played? Have you
Oh
watched
my
any
God,
of the
I'm
other?
crossing the
Oh,
street.
shit.
Oh, it's
Um,
Frogger! Yeah!
Oh shit! Make
Other-
like keyboard. Hold on.
Little Nightmare games?
Wait, it's gay Frogger. We have rainbow colors.
Yay!
Is that supposed to make it better?
After this, I will do that for real, Salix. I will
You
give you a
know-
real one.
Go. I don't care if I
If
get
you hit
hit.
us, can we call it a hate crime?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah!
Let me
I don't
make
grab
no
shit.
bitch.
Come on, let me up! Let me up! Let me up!
Guys, Tuna has a lot of money.
You
Get
got
her.
more than one. Oh my god, you can! You can stack them.
Oh shit.
Just like in
That's
Frogger.
what he
But
said.
it makes you slow.
I'm gonna make
Makes you
no
really
bitch.
slow.
It's fine. I'll accept that.
It was not fun.
What the heck?
I actually can. That was the plan, Mochi. I was going to give myself an actual IRL dumb sticky note.
That'd be beautiful.
Oopsie.
I was not. I did not make that. That's tragic.
Hello.
Kima's seeing isekais,
Oh
bro.
yeah? Oh
The
yeah?
isekais are so good.
Get fucking owned! Fuck!
Damn.
Damn it. Damn
Oh,
it.
nice
Oh,
Tuna.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Dang.
He's
Man,
gonna
I got
watch all
bodied
the
this
VOD
time.
with me on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
I should have
We're
been
getting more
Atlas,
Stupid
not
ass
Cindy.
chair, dude.
Damn
What?
chat.
What happened?
Wait, I
They-
figured out the problem.
Chat said it should have been Atlas and not Cindy.
Oh
what,
my
die?
God.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
I,
fucked
mean,
up.
I would have preferred it that way too, but like it's fucked up.
Who's like Atlas's op in your fucking chat?
There you go, Salix. I give you
Try
an
my
actual dumb
first.
sticky
Oh,
note.
what's your? That's fair. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I
It's a
can't
retro
see.
puzzle
I want
game.
y'all to know that I
Unfiltered
love you all.
jokes.
However, I will not hesitate.
Yes, I was
Oh, I know.
looking in that before I
Holding
went
the
to
gun.
I
bed.
feel like it's on site for a lot of people when they see me. They're like, "It's on site. I want this twig gone." No wait,
I want
so
this
what was it?
trick
I want.
obliterated.
Yes.
I turned the LEDs on my controller
shit.
on. I'm locked in.
It's already been an hour.
Kind of gas.
It's
And we're
the like
halfway through the
$20
game.
Afterglow Walmart controller. I fucking love.
I don't know if I'll do
Your
Another
controller now
one
consumes
after this?
150% power every second.
or go to bed.
Oh my god, let's go! I'm gonna
Oh
lose
my
you.
god.
Ooh.
That's legit why I don't use the LEDs on anyway. I think they
I'll probably just do
die
this one.
immediately.
I do want to get like LEDs for when I move back home, but I'm not too worried about it now. I do need to get like a ring light or a different foot stand.
God damn.
I can't see jack shit with this on, so I have to go like sideways, turn my head sideways to actually see. Oh yeah! Y'all want to see the actual fucking nut button?
Here we go. Once you repeat, there's a ton of free games you can get for free. It costs.
Literally no sound came from it at all.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
I heard
like
aggressive
randomly.
movement.
Sometimes Steam would give you like
What?
Y'all were
A game out
Hang
for
on, I
free?
got this. Hang on.
What?
Where's my noise suppression?
like that. It'll just go to like 100% off. No.
Nice.
Perfect.
Whoa. That's beautiful.
I know, right?
Man.
Can you press it as you're rolling your die?
And I don't
Yeah,
usually
I can.
play.
Hang on,
I
let me
get to
turn my
play a lot
noise
of
suppression
Epic
off again. I'm gonna
games.
keep off this entire
But the
screen.
launcher always gives like free games out, like every week.
Fucking hell!
Like it's nice to just like
Bullshit!
get free games. So if
Oh,
you eventually
shit.
want to try something
Oh,
out,
you gotta go,
it's
man.
on Epic Games.
I gotta
Shit,
go.
on.
I gotta
Fuck,
go.
it's coming for revenge.
You can fuck that thing up.
And sometimes games are cross platform, so
I'm just
You can just play it on Epic Games.
Slammed it so many times. and
No,
it
I'm not
says nut.
I want to aim at the boss. I want to aim at the boss. Thank
Oh.
you. I might have been able to save Cindy. I didn't realize
Oh,
the laser was
shit.
that far out.
Damn.
Shit.
we don't even
Holy
get to see what happened.
No fucking way.
Alright.
That was great.
Fuck
Is he
happened?
dead?
Is he? Yeah. Is he dead?
Oh,
Oh,
he,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
he gone.
What the
he's
fuck?
disintegrated.
Dead as hell.
He's gone.
He's fucking
Gone
dead.
as fuck.
What if he just comes back though?
Oh, that's valid.
Hey,
I
y'all,
hadn't
can someone take a
considered
screenshot? Can someone take a screenshot and just send this to me?
Zombie.
A zombie. A zombo. Shoot the other players before they shoot you. Oh no.
Oh god.
It's Battlefield 6, y'all.
Yo.
One
Is this the
second.
new battle royale?
Fuck.
I'm making the dumb
Oh, wait,
secret
we're in
more
cars.
permanent by using a Sharpie.
It's just Mario Kart.
With twisted metal.
Yes.
Mario Kart-
Jen, it's
Mario Kart,
just
but the way Cat
Mario
plays it.
Kart. You're right.
Gotta
Oh, I'm
press
so glad
X
Cat
to
is doing
accelerate.
Margaret was the way Cat plays, yeah.
This is what Cat sees every time.
Oh, we're all on the line.
that. Oh, I was tapped.
Oh,
How do I
Oh.
shoot?
okay. I understand
That's
that
okay.
now.
Oh,
Proxy! Don't do that.
Oh, ow.
Where do I respawn?
Hey.
Oh, over there.
Oh, shit. I gotta hide.
This is a reminder that I
Oh.
hate tank controls.
The
I just
tank
died.
controls.
Oh.
Welcome to spawn.
Tuna spawn camping.
I don't know how to do tank controls, please.
You know, I fucking hate tank
God
controls.
damn it.
Right?
I play a lot of
Oh.
tanks.
Oh,
You also
Just
not.
kidding.
oh.
Yeah, you shoot first, see what happens.
Oh, let's go. Yeah.
Are you guys doing circles?
I want one power.
We're making donuts.
Jen, we're fighting, but then it just looks so cool.
No!
It's
Who starts shooting?
Damn,
Wait, there's still 50 seconds of this?
Shit, what the hell?
I'm stuck.
Where am I? I'm alive.
It's fine, I can unstick
dead.
you, don't
Oh.
worry.
I'm back.
Can someone... Nem or Mochi, can y'all take a screenshot of this? I need this. This is my...
Oh my gosh, this is ow.
Oh god, is there a scary
Alright,
now?
there's
No!
30 more. What? I spawned in running into a
Oh
wall.
shit! Oh shit!
hello.
See? I can't see the
It's
red
mine.
sticker.
No!
Oh, I finally got a thing. But-
Yo, this is painful to control.
Yeah, this is
It
so
is.
Yes,
hard to
it is.
control.
Welcome
Pretty
to tank
painful.
controls.
Crane's scary.
My dump sticker fell off.
Oh.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Should we blow each other up? Jan just witnessing the carnage.
Oh, we're so low! No!
I got both of you.
Oh my god, that was
Dude,
so
I'm so
hard.
bad at it.
That
I'm
was
so bad at it.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
no, that was
that
painful.
pretty. That was pretty easy.
The donuts though was fine.
Yeah, the
Sydney, I'm
donuts.
sorry, I didn't
Donuts were
hear
pretty
you.
good.
Donuts was fine.
No, you're fine.
Me witnessing the donuts was
I mean, me and
hilarious.
Jen were actually trying to kill
What
each
the
other.
fuck?
Yeah. Oh, hi,
Oh,
Alice.
fuck. Oh, I took in my spit.
I just wanted to use an item.
Can't believe it.
Oh,
Jan hit you right in between the legs, Atlas.
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Oh.
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, nice. We just passed that.
Wow, sick.
I cannot
Oh,
see for jack.
My
shit.
keys.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, everybody's always happy. It's yes, likewise, Jenny. If you ever need anything, my DMs are always open. This game, yeah,
love all
that's
of
what
these
this game is
algorithms
about when it first
with
came out.
all of my heart.
I
They're
played
so
this when it
fun.
first came out.
Wait, what?
It's
What's
just
your
Mario
algorithm?
Kart,
What is
or not
this?
Mario Kart, Mario Party, but you can
Hang on.
Where are my gay
you can
Halloween
use like
toys?
items to like
Wait, I want some.
hit people,
Yeah, trick or treat.
and there's secret
I love
trophies
the
for
one
like
that you
I'm putting it in the chat.
What is that?
doing a lot of damage to your
The
friends.
one that I sent DMs to you? That one?
I'm trying to like
Oh, that was
The
so
scream?
not use
The
all my
scream?
items to kill
the way
everybody
that
now.
she just
Crane, I saw you send me something earlier, but I haven't looked at it yet. Hang on. Let's see what did you fucking send me? Hang on.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm gonna worry about it.
I've never
because-
seen it. It's
if I
pretty
don't
fun. I
look
mean,
at
it
it,
was only
I
like
get
20
scared,
bucks,
'cause
but
I'm
I got it
like,
for
oh.
10 when it because it was on sale.
Oh.
There's a lot of game modes and there's a
Oh.
lot of mods. So there's already like a lot of
Oh,
modded
that's me.
games that you can
I-
add.
Also, I just
They
saw
actually
what
added,
Nick
like, a Mario
replied to
Kart game
my
mode already,
Tweet about
but
why
it's-
is he licking?
It's
the
like scuff,
screen?
obviously, but
You know what? I'm banning
it's
him.
still pretty funny to try.
Justified and fair.
I don't know if you ever played like Halo,
It's just
um,
a stitch, like
but in
licking the
Halo there
glass.
was like a
I'm
map where you
banning
have
him.
to like climb up
Oh,
this
that's
very
useful,
steep
yeah.
hill. And there's a bunch of like tanks and rocks and stuff trying to
Dude,
kill you,
I
so you have to dodge and
I found Rocky made of
try to make it
watermelon.
like across. Yeah, where you can like
Huh?
super armor and then the tanks would
Found
like
Rocky made
go
of
through you, but then you
watermelon.
just keep
Hang
climbing
on.
up. They have that game mode on here.
Yep.
I don't
Yes,
remember
it
what
was
it's called,
Mochi.
but I think you just have to like reach the top or
Bam.
whoever like climbs
Oh,
the
it's my
highest
turn.
before dying.
Okay.
I've actually reached the peak like once.
I
I
didn't
didn't
know,
know there was a peak. I think it was actually one of my clicks last week. No, not last week. Last year. Yeah, there's a game mode where you have to reach the peak,
Ooh.
and there's things trying to kill you. And that's also like a Mario. That's actually the Mario Party minigame, where one person like
No,
shoots down
Sarah!
boulders, and then 3 people try to like climb up.
Oh, you're so close.
Damn, stolen
cried.
from right under
Oh
you.
shit, what happened?
Just there, you
Swooping
cunt.
on your ass.
Sorry, I just stole the thing right in front of Tuna.
I'm a cry.
No. And it's in Azura's path again.
Damn.
That's.
Yeah, but-
cheating.
They have 6 coins. You need to
Oh
get
shit.
40 coins in 1 turn. Wait, Tuna, it's in your path.
Yeah, dude. Go get the money. Go get the money.
Cactus.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Guys, look what Jan just sent me.
What? I said something?
Thank you, Jan. The screenshot.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you wanted it in
I
like
made-
160p.
Oh
Could've made the quality
god.
lower.
Oh shit.
If I can, I'll make this better. I'll make it an
This,
actual sticker.
Make it as crunchy as possible.
Yeah, I could have made it more.
Crane,
60p.
Let me show you. Let me DM. It's already crunchy as shit. Bring you my DMs.
Oh god, I want to see this.
Hang on, I just want to show this to Crane.
And love how yesterday
You know, I'm
said
just
just,
gonna
yeah,
put
of
it
course.
in
That's
the-
been
in
the
the
thing
group.
since I first started streaming. I've had the cheese to meet you thing.
It's so fucking crunchy.
We could
Oh my
crunch it
God.
more.
I gotta stop
We
yelling.
can-
Xbox controller out of that.
I didn't read the
The
controls.
Xbox controller.
Grab.
Wait, why am I looking at
left,
Crane?
Mouse click.
Oh, it's just the name.
Oh shit, I killed myself. Okay, well.
What's happening? What are you doing?
Be careful.
I grab?
Let them
Oh,
explode.
you
How do I
can.
grab?
Yeah, you press R2 to grab it, guys.
Y'all, I killed myself, so.
Oh.
Why can't I
Mr.
grab this?
McFarlane. I can't grab it.
Oh,
Oh,
Left
Oh,
and
oh,
then toss.
oh, that's how you do it. Oh, I see you.
Oh shit.
I'm Paris.
Never mind. I was
No,
gonna say
Jazz standing there.
I'm just standing there.
I can't move. I was trapped in an island.
Fucking take.
Oh, hey, Alex, you're back.
Crunch this to make it more crunch. Hi. For once,
I
I'm
can't
not
do it.
fucking dead.
Oh, I get an item too. I got a beehive.
Ooh.
Nice.
For once, I'm not dead. Aren't black.
What?
You just gotta make sure that Jan
That is-
beehives, and you'll be
That is
fine.
false. I don't know. I am I the most threatening
Yeah,
person
no.
in Twitch? Like, look at my model. I was a mouse.
Oh my
Crane's over here is like,
god.
Oh my god.
Fucking
Holy
God.
shit.
Wait, I forgot what website I used for the
Wow.
shoot. Oh, sound alert. Okay, that's what it was. I was gonna say I could do a follower right now. Could they follow
That's why I'm
earlier?
so close.
And you get to
That
see the
is
face.
really close.
Yeah, I remember
Too
you
bad I
did say
think I'm on
that.
like the other side of it.
I have no keys.
I
though.
remember someone else
Doesn't
who was like
matter.
Oh no,
4,000 more followers than me said they were scared to interact with me when I only had
Oh,
like
you
200.
You could kill Jan immediately.
I could,
Shit.
but I'm not.
Oh. I
Oh,
thought you were for a second. I was like, oh shit.
no,
Oh, 1 year.
because I'm not a dickhead. Well,
That was
actually,
too
I
cool
am,
for
but
me.
like,
Nah,
Mario
no one's
Party!
too cool for me.
It's true.
With
you're right.
violence.
Wait a minute.
It's funny because I also am scared to talk to people or ask them to game. Oh, here we go. Here's the buddy who joined
Hello,
If Jan
earlier.
comes near
You're
that,
so funny.
It's Chase to meet
if
you
Jan
over
comes
there.
near that, I'm using that boxing glove. Just like a spot away.
I saw
Nope.
that picture 2 years ago before I started, and I just
I'm
had to
hungry
keep
as
it.
shit.
It was too good.
My trash can's overflowing again.
Before I forget.
I don't need any more alerts than that.
Defense.
I kind of missed what they were saying.
Oop, I
They
was
said
gonna
my
use
name.
an item. I spammed click too fast.
Oh no.
Sad.
Can I just,
Oh, you landed on it.
Can I just
Oh my God.
teleport to you? Can I just...
You can just
Is-
walk
is
up
that-
there. Oh, you don't even have anything.
Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you.
You just have explosives.
Oh my god.
You motherfucker.
That's
You
so big.
motherfucker.
God damn it!
There they go.
You are never too cool for school. You can always keep going
You're
back.
close to
Dude,
it.
Oh, the boss
Yeah, he's
is
back.
gone.
Wait, he did
Oh,
come back.
shit.
Oh shit. Oh, Atlas?
Get me out of here.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Atlas or Jan?
I need a big roll.
Yo.
Can you go for Jan? Can you go
No,
for
go
Jan?
for Atlas.
Lightning rod.
Go for Jan. Leave me alone.
Wait, one player
I-
uses the
I
lightning
know.
and then the others just run around. Got it.
Oh, what the
Who's the
fuck?
lightning?
Who's the lightning rod?
It's
Oh.
Roxy!
Oh.
I lost track of where I
Oh.
was.
Oh shit! I fell in.
So menacing. She's menacing as fuck, dude.
Roxy, look at Crane in the corner.
Guys, hi guys.
What? Why are you calling me out?
Guys, this is a team game. We need to survive.
Sydney.
That's right, I'll circle her. She's an Elden Ring boss.
Just a troll.
I don't die.
Oh,
Yeah, bring me to them, Cindy. Oh, hey guys.
Well, I rip.
I live.
Oh no.
I died.
No,
I love how Crane is just there.
Crane never moved.
Y'all want a free dump sticker?
Oh my god, we all got rockets. All right, I can get out of here then.
Let's go.
We get rockets?
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
no.
item that I got, we had like 3 people with rockets. All right, I'm out of here. I don't want to get
Oh.
hit by this guy.
Oh no.
Oh, hey, listen.
You motherfucker!
I didn't even know you were there.
I'm gonna fucking throw up, bro.
I didn't know you were there. I just had to get out of here.
Thank you.
Ow!
I'm out of here. Goes in circle.
I thought I would go away and not go in a circle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, here's another thing.
How many items can you use a turn?
I think
Oh,
one,
I
because I couldn't do anything after I used
Just
the
one?
rocket.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
this
can,
is some
if
bullshit.
it's something that's
Someone chat
droppable, you
clip
can
that.
use it again.
I got it.
Like, you can use a
Hi,
shotgun
Chava.
and then use it something else.
Oh, rocket time.
We'll go back for
Goes
the agile.
into Atlas again.
Oh my god.
I'd rage quit. I'd fucking rage quit.
Oh, nice.
So
You need like...
quickly.
Oh, the thing's right there. Don't you have enough?
No, I think Cindy doesn't have any keys.
Oh.
Sag.
See, I would have one, but someone used a fucking rocket.
Yeah, I wonder who did that.
I wonder who.
I think the boss did that.
I
Spawned
wonder
in.
who.
Well, hi, Cindy. Bye, Cindy.
Alright.
You have to go for a master's or different PhD or no
Oh.
thanks. I don't actually know what I want to do.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
some of the jobs here, you just require certificates.
Okay, no.
So I don't even need like a
Chew
bachelor.
camera faster.
They need, if you have experience in the field or have some certs, that's all you need. So instead of spending like 2 years in college, I can spend like
Double plunk.
1 month for
Look at my
2
body.
certs.
Wait, who's over here?
You're vibrating over there with Proxy. It can't be that bad.
We're
Can't be
vibing.
that bad.
I heard vibrating. I heard vibrating.
I did
was
say
like,
vibrating.
Oh,
Okay, I heard right. I was like,
I did the thing.
What?
ah. But yeah, made alpha goal is what we got.
It's death
Another one's
or
down
it's yeah.
You know what? I got enough stuff.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
it.
I'm goody with no more school. Yeah, exactly. I
Oh shit.
also don't want to do anymore.
The karma.
I mean, I started it in the beginning of this year, and it was pretty easy.
You know what? No,
But-
I'm not gonna make that joke. That's too easy. And
My doctor wants me to get
Oh my god.
medication again for
I know
my
exactly what I
migraines,
was gonna say.
Yeah.
but that medication makes my memory go bad. And I failed like an exam 2 years ago when I was taking the meds.
I love being known. It makes me happy.
Oh my god.
I don't even
No,
have to make this
no.
shitty
Oh.
It's just the threat of the.
Not
oh my
the
God,
bees.
That's
Oh.
Please.
Get her, sir, get her. Aw.
the bees
No.
on top of the,
The
house are
bees.
just horrifying.
Oh, the zombie.
No,
Oh,
the
no,
zombie's
no.
not my butt. That's tragic.
Okay.
Alice, we gotta get out of here.
Fucking me! Fucking me, we!
We gotta go. The boss is coming.
Alex.
I meant to use the item. What did
Oh,
I
you
get?
should have used the laser.
You got a gift box. Oh, what
Oh
happened?
shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, you got sent to the Shadow Realm. You're gone.
Oh.
What did that do?
He's just gone.
me!
God, bro.
It fucking said it. Some bullshit. Let me go get my other crackers.
Oh, proxy, that's
Salix, why
fucked
are you
up.
redeeming everything? I'm gonna
Siri
fuck-
bot not
God
here?
damn it.
Your grads was so bad? What happened? I thought Siri bot was here. There's a...
What the fuck? He's not
There's
even
a-
there.
What?
Oh! Imagine that kills him. That
That's
would've been too
bullshit.
bad.
Holy shit, dude, that's safe.
I was like, why is he going after you instead of me?
Holy shit,
An obstacle.
Wait, give me.
Roll
I gotta
your
do some
way.
more
What do you
push-ups.
mean
Give me a
roll?
second.
Roll my
Yeah.
way.
We have to just
You're ragdolling.
just hold the S
If
and
it
A.
fits
Or
me
no,
well.
hold A, I mean.
Tuna.
Wait, no, hold D.
Someone in my chat said this should be the new stream official uniform. Me in a maid outfit. No.
Happens every Friday.
Yep,
Mine
every
was-
Friday.
Yeah.
What, Proxy?
Not
Game
Friday,
on the
Monday.
That like you could always be.
Perfect.
Made Monday, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Made
It works.
Oh my god.
I'll just get a PNG. I'll just get a PNG for my actual model. I'm not do
You
IRL
need
one.
an need an omelet.
Just
with
hold
ketchup, pizza heart.
D.
Ugh.
Uh,
I don't even know where I am.
We're in the bottom together.
Okay.
baby.
Oh,
Baby. I love ragdolling.
Well, fucking go.
Oh my
This
God.
is how I work on the daily.
I can't.
Yo,
I'm stuck. What's
oh,
happening? I
no.
can't
Oh.
move. Goodbye, world. This
Oh,
thing
no.
killed me.
Wait,
Proxy, run, get out of here.
wait, oh.
Wait, how did I die before? Wait, we got the same
That
points.
was rough. Ah,
Yeah, I
you
got
made-
stuck. I got stuck in the
Yeah.
conveyor belt.
Holy shit, that's crazy. All right, perfect. I got.
Oh, you got a
this.
gift box. Should open that.
No.
Oh, no, do it.
It's
You should do
Christmas
it, Tuna.
soon.
Save it for a rainy day, you know? Oh, wait.
You're gonna get sent to a fucking shadow realm like me.
It's literally raining in game right now.
yeah, yeah, it's
I can just leave. I'm out of here. Good luck, Atlas.
Lord, he's zooming. I just come around back at him and shotgun him.
Oh, shit.
Wait, it's right there. What? I don't even have an emote
Yeah.
though. I don't have money.
I don't have heals.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Proxy got a bomb.
Are you still gonna be inside the box when it's your
But
turn?
I have Crocs. But I have Crocs. I can wear Crocs right now. It's nice. Where's Proxy?
She's muted.
Did she go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
Well,
she
she
said she had
got-
to pee.
She got 90 seconds.
This is such a Proxy thing.
Go piss
I
girl.
swear to God. Anytime we collab, she always has to step away to use the restroom. Now I'm gonna go back to twerking. Damn it, damn it.
What a sentence.
Listen, the maid outfit hits different. Just a second. Wonder if I should do a stream of the inflatable dinosaur.
That sounds like it'd be bulky.
Bulky and there's no air ventilation at all.
Oh, so sweaty. Gamer stanky.
So, last year we walked from my apartment to our local college, which is a 45-minute walk. I had a light gray t-shirt on. It was black.
Ew, brother.
You could see steam coming out after I unzipped it just
Can
to
you
breathe.
stop talking, bro? I swear to God. This is why you're called Stinky.
Oh, she's
Oh,
back.
Bucky's
She's
back.
gamering.
Blah 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 blah. I'm coming.
Let's go.
I'll come back.
Hey, Bob. Well, I can't go that way. That's where the monster is.
Yeah, but the chest was to the right.
That's where the monster is. And I need money anyway, so I'm just gonna make money.
The gamer's gamering. Not me.
I mean, it's your turn soon. Look, you're still down there.
Man.
Oh my god, the keys.
Oh, nice. You're missing one.
Yeah, yeah, very close.
The bees.
Elves.
Maybe.
You're like one tile away.
So close.
What's the magnet even do?
I'm guessing it takes money.
Yeah, it takes money from
Oh.
those who are closest to you.
Oh, so you got the heals.
Medkit. More heals. Alright, Alice, don't get a 1.
Yeah, let's get a one. It'd be really funny. Do it for the vine.
Oh.
Do it for the vine, Jesus.
Got a bomb.
Do a
Oh,
flip.
geez.
Wait, where's he going? Oh, he's going for me.
Yeah.
Oh, if you
Wow,
get a
he
4
really
next
likes
round,
Oh!
Oh, no!
what do you mean yes?
Damn it.
It's not close enough
Oh
to me.
no!
It says
Oh,
lard.
the alphabet.
You know what? I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Press
Right?
button
Oh,
by.
Oh. Hey, larding.
alright.
Oh, I press X to press the button. We're just spelling.
Yeah.
Oh.
It shouldn't be too hard. Just spell.
I'm bad at that.
It's okay. What? Where's the
Where
P?
am I? Here I am. Damn it, it's not piss. Alright,
Oh shit, the word changed.
Wait, there's
Where's
a
the-
word?
Damn,
Oh!
dude.
Tapping.
Oh my god.
Christ.
Dude.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
What
what?
the fuck?
Somebody's bodying us.
Dank.
Oh my fucking god.
Like my memes.
You
know I'm
Fucking
causing chaos. I don't
Christ.
care no more.
Hey, who's punching people?
Yeet!
Oh my
Ow,
fucking
I keep getting
god.
hit.
Yeah, who's just punching?
Ow!
Where's the T
Me,
at?
my bad.
Tree!
If I get hit one more fucking time, I'm gonna go ballistic.
Yeah. Get out of here. What?
Lard!
Oh,
Lord!
Lord, it's Tuna's
I'm
word.
No!
Where's the
My
R?
word, my brand!
Did it.
Pickle.
What the fuck, dude?
I hate these.
Duck.
Dude, what?
Ah.
That was the worst game. That was the worst game by
That
far.
was the
That
worst.
was
the
Worst game by far.
I
That one
could not
sucked.
track
I don't
myself
even know.
anywhere.
I couldn't either.
Oh my god.
That's so overwhelming.
I hate
What the
this
hell?
one.
That's terrible.
Next party game, we're doing
was so
code
bad.
names.
Code name. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh, zombie, please.
Numb.
You got all level 1? Ooh. I've seen a lot of people playing. No, I'm not human lately. It's really bad? Is it?
Bam.
Is that bad?
Motherfucker, I can't do anything!
Yeah, that should still reach because it's in the corner. You can use the B.
No, I can't.
No, it reaches the. It should reach them because it's like a
No, it doesn't.
AoE around the thing. I mean, might as well use it. That should still reach them. Yeah, just drop it right there.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Damn.
Oh,
Oh.
animal! Oh my goodness! Whoa! Holy shit! Ruthless, beautiful.
Oh, nice. There's the cage.
Oh. Just rub itchy. Can you scratch my back?
Yeah, scratch here.
Got a shotgun.
Thank you for scratching my back.
You're welcome.
Just throws on another cactus outfit real quick.
It's okay. At least you
Wow.
tried.
Wow.
We're all broke.
The two would not have enough.
Right, we gotta run.
I was missing 20.
Oh wait, I did
16,
it.
17.
I got the amount that I
Excuse
need.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have enough.
Yeah.
Damn.
Ghosts.
Alright, now we need Atlas to get a 5, and then the boss will hit him.
Oh fuck, man.
Oh, thank you.
Can't believe this tuna mugged me in an alleyway.
Foxy, whatever you do, don't get like a 7.
It wasn't
Fine.
an alleyway yet.
You get like a what?
Oh,
Yet?
you're about to go to the boss. Can you look down?
Where am I going?
If you go down, the boss is down
I
there.
go.
What is he doing? What are you doing over there, bro?
You should probably go
What are you
left.
doing there,
I was gonna go. I was gonna go this way.
What are you
anyway.
doing? Silly
Ah,
goober.
horrible. He's being weird.
Oh my god, is my food?
You got this, Atlas. Get a high roll.
Alice, don't die.
Oh, or you can shoot him. You have the cannon.
Could
Oh, whoa, 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 shit. Oh.
Oh.
Damn.
Whoa.
I'm the only one who's died so far.
Hey, hey,
Wow.
hey, 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 hey,
Oh,
whoa,
shit.
yo.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
There we fucking go.
Damn, that's threatening.
Watch it spawn back as soon as this turn is.
Holy shit.
Watch him not die.
I would cry.
Be
He's
really
still
funny.
there
Not
when you're
it.
walking.
Got this, Atlas. Oh, you got a 9 too.
Oh, he's
Nice.
gone.
Oh, he's
Let's
gone,
go.
gone.
Dead as hell. Let's go.
He's dead.
Alright,
as
all the
fuck.
blood's right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my food is actually here. I'll be right back.
Ah,
Food. Comida. That's what Hispanics say. Because I'm Hispanic.
Proxy.
The bees. No one's in range.
Lobby.
I'm safe.
Ooh.
Teleport.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, it's just the Bowser game.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Just don't get hit
Don't
by the
wanna end up-
spotlight.
A bit crispy, you'll need to keep track of your player in the dark. Well,
We're supposed to keep track of it while we're in the dark too.
Or properly.
Okay, went to get foods.
Yeah.
You just chill.
We vibe.
Cat.
gatita.
Can I just tell
Yes,
you
my
how
camera off real
excited
quick.
I am to actually sleep tonight?
Have you not been sleeping tonight?
No, because my cat has been a demon to me every night.
No.
Oh no.
That sounds about like average cat behavior, honestly.
They love the night shift.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Welcome
No
back.
worries.
I didn't look at what,
What
we're
did you
playing.
order?
Oh, Bowser
avoid-
lights don't get like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't touch.
Don't get touched.
Ah!
Who's getting touched over there?
I'm
Oh,
dead.
I don't even know where I'm at right now.
I don't know where I'm at.
Someone turn on the lights. Oh, there I am. Okay. If I stand here, they won't get me. I just won't move.
I said D.
Don't stand in
I-
corners.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm afraid of the corner. I'm staying in the middle.
Oh, I died.
Why is this like the most VTuber debut music I have ever heard?
Right? Oh my god!
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god,
You guys just got
that
wiped
was
over
fucked
there.
up. That was
Wiped
fucked up. That was fucked
Jesus.
up. We got cornered hard. That's
We
not okay.
did. Damn.
That was insane. Wait, I got a rocket.
At least
God
3 or
damn.
4.
Goddamn, goddamn, goddamn.
But I got fried chicken and then I got fried pickles with it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's all spicy.
Oh, yummy.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Oh no! Oh, no! Oh shit, y'all got
Rain,
mud.
you're hanging on a
Mama.
thread.
You're fine. You're doing great.
The body's finally
You guys were
landed.
Holy shit.
The body's
Bro.
finally landed.
God damn. Unnecessary rough housing.
I gotta use my items. There's only like 2 turns left.
Oh, is there actually? Oh,
Rash.
shit,
Yeah,
there is.
13 out of 15. I just had to use whatever I had.
Hi.
Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I have a ball.
Yep.
Well,
Wrecking
I don't
ball,
wanna.
magnet.
Yeah.
I deserve that. I did not.
Alice just
That's
died.
That's a lie.
Damaged the whole game.
I have died the entire game. Proxy's 5 short.
Oh. I didn't even notice.
Oh.
Wait, what? Oh, those are her keys.
Alright.
Welcome back, Nix.
Hey, Crane. Listen, buddy.
You have a
Listen,
chance
buddy.
to do the
Um,
funny.
Listen,
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Give
Do
us
it.
a
Do it.
chance to
listen,
do the
listen,
funny.
listen,
Shotgun.
listen,
Do
buddy.
the
Listen,
funny. Do the funny.
listen,
I'll
Oh
let
my
you
god!
know.
listen,
Oh my
Crane.
gosh, he's got a gun to your head.
He shoots
You gotta
Alice. You won't
beg.
have enough money
You
for
gotta
the
beg like a good boy.
for the. You won't have enough money for the thing.
I'm gonna need you to
Crane,
meow
please.
for me.
Oh. All right, it's that easy. Just do it. You got it.
Can I give you ooh, Crane? Something even. Can I give you ooh nya? Would that make it better? Ooh nya.
Alright, you pass.
Oh, I read it as you had to go because your phone's died.
The thing is, I didn't even do it in the voice yet. That would make me like physically cringe.
Hurt me. I'm hurting.
Do it. Ooh, yeah. I got secondhand cringe for that.
You're welcome. Now, how do you think I feel when you came in and hit me with the furry rap?
Oh
Or
shit!
fire,
What did he do to you? What did he do?
Hi.
Salem saying, don't
Hi.
move into twink.
I need money.
All right, do you have a charger?
Oh shit!
What, Crane?
Salix was calling for your death in my chat. He was like, don't give in to twink supremacy.
Give in to the twink supremacy. Give in. Cringe into a whole different dimension. You're welcome.
Brains.
Damn, these are some good ass fried pickles. Holy shit.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm a
Teleport.
pickle hater.
Oh, that's huge.
Really?
Huge teleport.
I
Wait.
did it for the funny.
Yeah, but you got him closer to the
You
cage.
motherfucker.
Did I?
There's a
Oh,
cage right in front of you.
Atlas, you should be. You should
Oh.
be happy, Atlas.
Yeah, that's why I said it was
you got a cage
huge.
right in front of you.
No.
Just don't get a 3.
Get a
Or
3.
one, or 2.
You got a 4.
Aw.
Oh, is that enough?
Hey.
Oh, you
Hey.
got it.
Hey.
You did it.
Damn.
You did it.
You baby. Okay.
Migration, you done it.
Welcome to the One Trophy Club.
Congratulations.
At least, I am not even different pickle dishes. I am not.
Pico.
I don't think I can.
The gift
I-
box.
Pico.
Anytime I have a
reanimate
pickle, I ask someone, I was like, does anyone want this pickle?
Wait, where's your charger at?
Ah, fuck. Ow.
Oh no! Wow.
Oh,
no.
No.
I missed
oh,
it. What happened?
God. Dude,
Oh.
Laser
jump.
leap.
Oh.
It's just parkour.
Oh.
Parkour.
Yeah, parkour. Parkour.
Oh,
I guess.
The lasers look like they move.
Parkour!
W.
how
Nobody
are-
look
the
at my. Don't look at my
lasers are
screen,
on.
guys. Don't look at my screen.
The next
Think the
goal
watch
is
screen cheating?
playing
No screen cheating.
Soma.
Good luck.
I'm playing Soma.
Who's screen cheating?
Don't look at my screen. What the heck?
I didn't know where I was. I was like, where am I?
Well, this is easy. You just jump the lasers. Oh!
Ah, they're about to
There's 2
box
lasers.
you. Okay.
Lasers.
What? I didn't mean to
I
jump the
thought-
second one.
Bill, why is your
I
mom
can
let you
tell.
have 2 lasers?
Oh, I'm not a gamer anymore.
Wait, there's still 50 seconds of this.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
spicy.
this is
That was
it's
very
spicy.
Ow.
Holy shit.
Oh!
Oh shit!
Oh.
What the hell?
Fuck.
Oh, I'm not moving. What the hell?
I'm dead.
Oh!
Oh, I'm dead too. Don't feel bad.
Jesus.
15 seconds. What the?
Oh my god.
What is happening?
Shit. Damn it.
Lasers!
Oh no!
Why did it like spawn
What
10
was
of them?
that?
Holy shit! What the
Holy
fuck?
fuck.
What the fuck?
That was terrifying.
Oh my god!
That gave me a heart murmur.
Wow.
Oh my god, twinsies?
Wait, bring Atlas back to me so I can hit him with a beehive.
Nope.
Hi.
I only have 1 teleport.
Oh, hello.
It's okay.
And I'm still in 7th. Some bullshit.
Oh shit.
What did I get?
Damn.
Oh,
Handlers.
Yeah, I did you, Jan. Oh my
No.
god.
Oh.
Oh,
Where am I going? I'm going.
You're going to the sound days.
Oh yeah. Finally.
The smooching.
Yeah, that would make sense. I don't think you'd want a charger next to the thing with
Oh,
water.
I gotta stop being a fast. Okay, hold on.
Can you give me a pickle? Ah.
Yeah, I got you.
Ew.
Wow.
Oh, keys, yay.
Are we even near any cages now?
Technically, yeah.
City.
kind of.
Well, there was one on the bottom right.
Define near.
I don't think I'm near that.
Get Atlas.
What the
11?
fuck, bro?
You want me to shoot him?
I'm always a target. Whenever you motherfucker.
You're gonna lose your 1 coin.
My one.
You're one key. Na-na-na-na-na-na.
I got 360 quick flip.
Oh damn.
My 2 keys.
It wasn't.
You're too you can have my keys.
Oh.
Oh, gift? It's gift time.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
how's
you're
that?
right, honestly.
What'd you get? Oh!
Something good!
Oh, this is a bullshit.
Oh, you get to
What?
pick a minigame.
That's minigame. Oh.
Well, we played the one on the right.
Bullshit.
Oh
Maybe
my
the
god, we
other
can play
two.
Snake with 8 people.
Yeah, there's the
Oh
snake.
god.
Wait, which one did you
Oh.
choose?
Oh no. You're not.
That's where we're going. I'll
think
find out, I guess.
did.
It's a secret minigame.
I don't like the laughter.
I don't either.
Thank God. Excitement.
I spam clicked that.
Good night,
You love the laughter, yeah.
Hello, Miriam.
I
Welcome
used to even
in.
have-
Have I slept? Nah, we don't sleep here.
Huh?
How was work, Miriam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh,
that
shit.
reaches me. That's too far.
Oh no!
Are you sure about
Oh
that?
shit.
My keys.
Are you sure about that?
Not the bee!
Well, I have a boxing glove next turn.
Oh, and you're
Oh,
right
shit. Oh,
there.
shit.
You're right there.
Oh no.
Guys, he's bad.
But I mean, no one's
Hey,
near
Jan,
that
we can
guy.
talk about this.
we
John,
can't.
Jan, we can talk about this.
We're
We can
playing.
talk about
What is this?
Oh,
Wait, that's just
I
Tron.
love it.
We're playing Tron.
Let's go.
With AP.
Oh, this is gonna be so chaotic with 7
God.
people.
Where?
Oh,
I
I
don't even know where I'm
know.
at. Oh, okay, I'm over there. All right.
I immediately died.
Did you run into
I
your own
even
trail?
I
died.
killed
That
myself.
that happens in Tron.
Yeah.
There's a
Proxy.
train.
Get over here.
Hey.
I'm gonna circle you in.
Holy shit!
What?
Toxic!
How did you die? I
Again.
didn't see it.
I accidentally moved to the right.
I killed
You just
myself.
touched me. No.
But everybody, half the lobby's dead already. What if I just go in circles?
Fucking
Oh,
punched me
no.
in the face.
Did I? I'm sorry.
Go back.
I'm having a hard track of keeping track of where I am.
It's fine. We just had a head-on collision. It was really funny.
Holy
What?
shit! Oh!
Oh god.
How did I live through that? I thought I ran into your laser.
No.
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh! Jesus.
Wait, do you not die for hugging the wall? Never mind.
No, you don't have that fucking the wall.
Wait, that's cheating. Oh, proxy won.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that boosted me so far.
You have work, no problem. Thank you for stopping in. You just wake up, I see me. You working, you see me, and then you go to bed, I see you. Yes, thank you. I should
Wait,
be ending
do you
soon.
have
Where would I wanna-
keys?
No. Where am I gonna go? Where
Wait,
could
who's
I go?
teleporting?
I don't have enough keys, so I'm fucked.
Yeah, the only one with enough keys is Cindy.
Cindy.
Hi.
Hi, City.
I can't do
won't
anything.
teleport. I'll just chill.
Yeah,
Well,
where,
how do I
where,
do
the,
that?
where are
That's
the
all-
cages even at?
You know what? I'll take some money. Hey, sorry. I want
Oh.
money.
You're stealing
What?
his last 14 cents?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Wait, how do
We're
I do this?
broke though.
You
Don't
just use
do
it?
Don't do it to him! No!
Oh, his money's gone.
Damn.
Bro!
Damn. Now they're
Crazy.
really a broke bitch.
You're gonna be standing in the corner.
And nice, you
selling some
start back in the
pics.
beginning.
I see.
Hey,
how-
Alice.
Oh,
Chilling now.
could this happen to
Hey, hey, Jan, hey, Jan, hey, 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 hey,
Hello.
hey, 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 Jan.
You have something to say?
Get his ass.
Yeah.
What? What's up?
Do it! Do it!
I'll do it, I'll do it.
You motherfucker!
Wait, Tuna! I didn't know you were here too.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
You're one key
God.
off! Oh my
I did.
That's
It's
so
okay.
crazy.
I mean, I gotta hit Atlas 3 times with a
We gotta
rocket.
go.
That's worth it.
I mean, what? No, it was a napkin. Oh.
What?
Frank's struggling over there.
Oh my god, hang on. I have so much sauce on my hands right now.
You gotta use your face to click the button now.
But my face was covered in spicy chicken too.
Use your
Just
toes.
press spacebar.
Use your fucking toes.
Wait, you got an eggplant.
Oh, it's fine.
Huge.
I got keys. I'm not super broke bitch again.
You got 7.
Got the wrecking ball.
Yeah, I have.
Why?
keys.
Why?
I mean,
Oh,
the game instantly
what?
just connected to you. It's like they didn't. You're the first selection.
I was going for the first person it landed on. There was no bloodshed there.
I feel like there was.
Ooh,
There
eggplant.
was no targeting. It was going for the first
Yeah, they
person.
do.
Tuna, you can do a kill.
Or
Yeah,
you
you
could
could do
just
a kill.
heal. For
Mm.
That
no
too.
reason.
But the eggplant.
Yeah, you're right. You think it'll be random, right?
The eggplant. You can control it.
Wrecking ball?
No, you can
wrecking
choose.
You can choose the wrecking ball.
Ball.
You can
Oh,
select
You can
it.
kill Proxy or Atlas.
Okay. Hey Atlas, how much do you value your life?
You got.
At this
He
point,
got 1 key left.
yes, I do.
Oh yeah.
I got lucky. I don't. I got
Let's see
7
this.
health.
Wait, when did I get hurt? Oh yeah, I got charmed by that thing. I was like, when did I get hurt? I thought I had full life.
Talby.
Hi.
Ubunya.
Oh.
Ubunya.
You motherfucker!
What, you want to say that again?
Oh.
No, I take that back. You spared me. I take that back.
Wherever you quit.
What? What?
Crane's eating.
Juba, hi, Juba.
Oh.
Hi, I love you.
Oh. Proxy.
Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow.
Those are not
Ow, ow,
words,
ow,
Proxy. You got attacked to me here.
It's okay. If you want to touch me, you can touch me.
Oh.
That's your final words.
A person walks up to you with a gun.
Word.
Don't touch me, touch me.
Touch you with a giant ball. I hope you enjoy that.
Man, you know, I'll take a ball to the face.
Fall in love.
I did it for the team.
Uh-huh.
Get it?
Oh! That was visceral.
What happened?
Diddy, who did you aim for?
Fuck, I don't have enough.
That was
Dude.
That was Jan.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
was?
Yeah.
Because I think I win no matter what now.
Oh my god. Alice, look at all the keys that
Oh,
you
tell
dropped.
That you can't pick up.
Yeah.
Wait, Alice, there's a cage right there. Open that.
Alice!
I can't.
Give him 2 keys.
Oh.
That was pick the lock.
Oh.
Hey, welcome to the corner.
There's
Hey, you got a
so many
rocket.
People.
Can't even use it because it's the end of the game.
Oh shit.
No, I think you're
The game
closer,
is-
actually.
The game is done. The game
I
is
don't care! This is bullshit!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, no final
That
minigame?
was so funny.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
The Pummel
did it.
Awards. That's a lot
Oh
of
my God.
words.
Most
damage.
dealt.
Most damage.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I was gonna win!
I don't remember doing a lot of damage.
Those keys. Jan?
Wait, no, hold on.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
Oh my
I'm
god,
still
the rich
winning.
get richer.
Yeah, you're up by like 6 keys.
Those
Most
minigame.
mini game one.
No, I'm not winning anymore.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I get one for most deaths, I'd be happy.
You can
Fuck!
set you can
Get
set
one.
that as a
Damn
rule.
it.
The most deaths. Oh my god, Pendle won. She's not even here.
Someone sent a picture.
I'm doing it right now.
No, you won.
Already on it.
I'm in a fucking cage.
Congrats.
You lost and you're in a cage, bro.
I'm in a fucking cage.
I got the wrong side though. You can send the photo.
Wait.
Why is
I
Alice in a
win.
cage?
Oh, I have to.
Alice, yeah, why are you in a cage? What
Oh, you
the
can
hell?
punch him.
Alice lost.
You can punch him in there.
Right where I
You know
belong
what? You
is
are an amazing
Punish him.
wild.
Oh, sorry. Punish
Huh?
him.
Just need to be.
Oh my god, I'm dead. My body. My poor bod.
I'm sorry, Ezra.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Alice,
It's okay.
you to be amongst your friends.
Ragdoll.
Oh.
Well, thank
Oh,
you
shut
everybody
it.
for
It's fun.
Thank
playing.
you for
Yeah.
hosting.
Hey.
Wait, there's
Expect
game
another-
statistics at the top.
Expect a patrol.
Press tab.
Man, I lost so many minigames.
I was straight in the middle. Nice. I'm mid.
Damn, I thought Atlas would have lost more keys. He received
No.
72 damage.
Oh my god.
Damage dealt.
I wonder how that happened, huh?
Oh, I wonder as well.
I think it was the boss.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was the boss. The boss got him.
You did nothing wrong.
Uh-huh.
Aha!
Hey. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for
everyone.
hosting
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you
do
for
fun.
inviting us. I had so much fun.
us.
Another
I know this was a lot of
another
fun.
collab
time.
soon.
Code names.
Let's go.
Honestly, yeah.
I've never code name, so I'm
Oh,
just gonna go in and I'll
She
be
said
like,
how.
Well,
She's
if
drunk.
we have, I mean, Gang Beast could also be another one.
How many players is that?
You can have like up to 8.
Oh.
Gang Beast.
Up to
You can also
8
do tabletop
sounds good.
simulator and just do like Secret
No.
Hitler or something.
Oh yeah, tabletop. We can play like board games.
oh shit, you're right.
Ooh.
Yeah, Secret
Yeah.
Hitler.
Hey,
What?
Okay.
leave me alone.
That's
board
a legit fun game.
I don't think I've heard of that.
What game?
Me neither.
Someone else
Secret
said it
Hitler.
again.
Woo! Nice going, everybody. Yeah, yeah.
trying to
Nice
punch
going.
you.
Yeah, nice going, everyone.
It's spawn camps.
Eh,
Oh, I hit
oh,
proxy.
Oh,
She's
Oh my
gullible.
Where
Where is she spawning? She's over there.
Beat me.
I spawn killed.
Alright.
Zara.
Wait, I have to get mine in.
I'm over here stuck inside.
Cindy.
Yeah,
Cindy,
I'm over here stuck in
Huh.
the cage, so I can't do shit.
I need you to go look at my mod chat real quick.
Oh god.
Oh my god, it's Mr.
It got me,
Brightside.
dude. It got me real bad.
Can I be in there?
Oh my god.
Can I be inside?
Alright, let's see.
Cage too?
He's
we
getting
probably
too
gonna-
powerful. We have to
Yeah.
nerf
We're
him.
gonna raid into either Necron or Ulti.
How much for commissions?
Okay.
I
Who?
did just raid Ulti,
What do you think?
so let's go to Necro.
He won't take commissions.
I
They're
know.
playing
I'm upset.
Little Nightmares with Ulti. Let me check them out.
I love it, everyone's just
Am I?
punching each other. I'm just like, oh.
I want to
There you
fuck
go.
that
Like,
guy.
you wanna
my
get
God.
that one?
Yeah, he likes Indeed.
I want to fuck that
But
guy.
thank you so
Oh.
much for stopping by. Happy
Okay, hear me
holidays,
out.
everybody. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow.
Hi.
We don't know what game we're playing yet. But
I'm
it's
sorry,
another
I'm
collab.
sorry.
Damn. Train
Bye
got
bye.
hands.
Train
Train got
I
hands.
can't even swing it and miss.
Let's do
Get him, we
it.
can't reach him, get him.
Oh.
And then cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Cindy?
There you go.
Accidentally knocked out Cindy.
Oh,
It's
no.
crazy.
Good night,
God.
everybody. Have a good rest of your Halloween and your weekend if I don't see
Yeah.
you.
Get over here, Atlas. Yeah.
Let me.
I don't
Spell
like
snake.
this game anymore.
Bye
Wait,
bye.
isn't this like your natural environment or something?
Oh,
like
natural
your
environment.
Yeah, like that's like a habitat. for
I'm catching
you.
strays.